As gaming and esports have taken off, Twitch has cornered online streaming.
On average now, you have over 1 million people watching Twitch concurrently, which is significantly more than many cable.
Hey everybody. As I'm sure you've realized, live streaming has become incredibly popular recently and continues to grow at an extremely fast pace. What once started as a way to broadcast video games and basic day-to-day activities is now a way to share your art, workout routines, and travel the world. I've created a series of videos to help you get started, and I hope that you enjoy them. Alright, so to get started, you'll want to have OBS up and running. If you don't yet have OBS, you can get it for free by visiting obsproject.com and selecting your appropriate operating system to begin the installation. Once you have OBS installed and running, you'll want to navigate to the settings button in the bottom right hand corner. If you notice that your OBS looks a little bit different than mine, don't be alarmed. There are a few themes that OBS does offer. I prefer to work under the dark theme, which I believe is now the default theme for OBS. However, regardless of your theme choice, you should still be able to follow along just fine. The other setting is, of course, language. I'm going to leave it at English, but if you prefer a different language, there are plenty to choose from. The other settings in the General tab can be left alone for now. This brings us to the Stream tab. Now this section is pretty straightforward. Your first option is Stream Type, which will give you two choices, Custom Streaming Server and Streaming Services. We're going to leave it on Streaming Services. This gives us a list of services to choose from, such as Twitter, Facebook Live, Mixer, YouTube, and of course Twitch. Now I find that Twitch is probably the most popular, so that's what I'm going to use for the video. However, the OBS settings that we go through should apply to any live streaming service. Your next option is your server. It is the OBS recommended choice that you leave it on automatic, which is probably the case for most of the services that you choose. However, I have an awesome tool for Twitch specifically if you want to choose the best server for you manually. And I'm going to show you that now. So this tool is called the Twitch Bandwidth Test Tool. And what it does is it measures your upload speed to each individual Twitch server and reports back so that you can figure out which server is going to be the best choice for you. I will include a link in the description so that you can download it if you'd like to. Now to get started, you'll want to click on the blue Get Key button, which will take you to Twitch so that you can easily copy your stream key and bring it back to the tool for pasting. Once you have your stream key pasted into the tool, you'll want to change the TCP window size to automatic, and you can leave the test duration at short 10 seconds. At most, you can do a medium 30 seconds, but anything past that's going to be a waste of time, and it takes way too long to do that. The last thing you'll want to do before running the program is remove any region that you're not currently located in, as it's obvious those aren't going to be the best servers for you, and creates a whole lot of extra scans. Trust me, it will take a lot of extra time. Once you've done this, you can go ahead and click on the Start button and wait for the scan to finish. Alright, and now that the scan is done, we can go ahead and take a look and see what we have. So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona at the time of this video, so it's unsurprising that Phoenix, Arizona ranks as the best server choice for me. It's got a maximum bandwidth with a short 5 millisecond RTT, and the quality is based on a 0 to 100 scale, so the quality is of course 100. So this is going to be the best server choice for myself. So now what I want to do is go back and choose the Phoenix, Arizona server. Once I've chosen a server, I should still have my stream key copied from when I used it on the Twitch tool, so I'll go ahead and paste it in now. That concludes the Stream tab, and we can go ahead and head over to the Output tab. Now this is where things get a bit more technical, so the first thing we'll do is change the output mode from simple to advanced, and this will allow us to get a better look at our settings. Be sure that you have the Streaming tab selected, and you can leave your audio track on 1. Your next option is the encoder. By default, it's going to be set to X264, and this uses your CPU to do the encoding. If you have a capable NVIDIA graphics card, you may also see the NVENC option. This instead uses your GPU to do the encoding. It takes a rather large load off of your CPU. Although some may argue that the X264 option does a better job of encoding, side by side I find that the differences are minimal, and unless you have a PC for streaming and a PC for gaming, I still prefer to use the NVENC option. If this is not an option for you, the X264 option will work just fine, as I mentioned, even arguably better. I'll show you a video side by side of the encoders in action so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And so here you can see the side by side of the encoders at work, and you'll see that there's really no difference, and if any, minimal. I think that the GPU does an excellent job of holding up next to the CPU encoder, and I think it's still the best option if you're streaming from a single PC. I've slowed it down a little bit so that you can see here, and as I've mentioned, there's really not much of a difference. Now that you've chosen an encoder, we can go on to the next steps. You can leave Enforce Streaming Service encoder settings on, and you shouldn't need to rescale your output. However, if you do, you can choose your resolution from the dropdown, otherwise leave it unchecked. Your rate control can stay at a constant bitrate or CBR, as that's going to be the best option, and we can move on to bitrate. Your bitrate capabilities are going to be largely dependent upon your internet connection, specifically your upload speed. So unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all number for this. However, I generally suggest to start at a 2500 bitrate and adjust up or down depending on your goals and what you're experiencing in your own stream. This page from Twitch does a good job of giving you an idea of what you might want to run depending on the quality of stream you're looking to attain. For a full 1080p 60 frames per second stream, I suggest a bitrate of 4500 to 6000. And do keep in mind this can also hinder the amount of people that are able to view your stream, as those with a weak internet connection may be experiencing buffering problems. Twitch also suggests that for lower movement streams such as card games or talk shows, that a 1500 bitrate can look great. So it really just depends on what you're looking to do and what your internet connections are capable of. Bitrates can go anywhere from 1500 to 6000 as you can see, so you'll want to play around with it and see what works best for you. Once you have decided on the best bitrate for you, we'll move on to the next section, which is the keyframe intervals. I like to set this at about 2 seconds, as I find that is a good balance between bitrate and quality on Twitch. The next thing is the preset, which I will set to high quality. Profile will be set on high, and we will leave level on auto. I will disable 2-pass encoding, and I leave my GPU at 0. If you use more than one GPU, you can add it by starting at 0 and counting up. So 2 GPUs would be 1. Bidirectional frames, or B frames, will remain at 2, and that will conclude the output tab. We will skip over the audio tab for now, as I have a whole video on audio settings if you would like to check that out, and we will get right into the video tab. Now these settings are also pretty straightforward. You'll start by choosing a base resolution, which I will set to 1920 by 1080. You'll want to then match that resolution for the output, so I will also set that to 1920 by 1080. For the downscale filter, because I am not downscaling, I will choose the bilinear option. If I was to downscale, I would choose the better 32 sample option, but again, I am not downscaling, so I will choose the bilinear downscale filter. I will then change the common FPS values from 30 to 60, and that will wrap up the video tab. As far as hotkeys go, it's all personal preference if you'd like to use them or not use them. Basically, they can help you set up keyboard shortcuts to do things such as stop stream or start stream, or start recording or stop recording. So if you'd like to use them, you can set them here, and again, it's all personal preference. And this brings us to our final tab, the advanced section. Here I make just a few changes. You'll want to change the YUV color space from 601 to 709 and the YUV color range from partial to full. This will help you capture a wider range of colors and keep your stream looking vibrant. If you want to turn on stream delay, you can do so now by clicking the enable button and choosing how long you'd like to set a delay for. Keep in mind that if you plan on interacting with your chat, the longer the delay, the harder it is to do so. And this just about wraps up our OBS settings video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I tried to keep all the technical talk down to a minimum. I know how boring and long these videos can get, but if you have any specific questions for me about why I set something a certain way, or the way something works, please feel free to send me a message or leave a comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel for our next video. Thank you so much for hanging out and have a great day.